Hello and thanks for selecting an episode of Quest. The series that I've called Quest, the videos that I make, it's just regarding stuff that I find strange and bizarre, strange phenomena, mega coincidences, different light levels in the way the weather's behaving, the strange trails in the sky. Notably, the phenomena that's referred to online as the Mandela effect phenomena. Also, like the time itself, as far as I'm concerned, I've experienced it, I would say it's sped up by a factor of 2. That's how I've experienced it anyway lately. And it's not just because I'm getting older, it actually has sped up. I genuinely believe that and feel that it has. So that's just to name a few things that have been happening that are quite bizarre. So the series that I named Quest on my channel is just basically sharing my experiences with you, and if you want to leave a comment with your explanations, if you want, well, feel free if you want to suggest what it may be, because I'm always interested in learning these things, the bizarre phenomena and stuff, and fascinated in them, and I really genuinely want to learn what's going on and why things have changed and what's causing them, how it's doing it. So, but the video purposely is just for sharing with you, the viewers, the strange stuff that I find, at least anyway, bizarre and strange. So, hope you find it interesting. Thanks for selecting and enjoy. Something really bizarre. Something very bizarre. And watching the documentary about the Fukushima. 33, well, there's the times there anyway. So 53 minutes long. It's episode 7. Netflix, the about the Fukushima power plant. So I just don't understand this bit. I don't follow why he did this. It's really odd. It's bizarre.
We can't just look at right now. It's time to start thinking ahead. Our most senior workers should lead in this sacrifice, like I'm doing.
That's what he does, I find very odd.
The West Coast president should do the same thing.
This is the strange bit coming up very shortly. So when he pulls his trousers down, I just don't follow this bit.
Okay guys, back to what you were doing. Cut to your stations. Yes, sir.
What was that about? I just don't follow that. I really don't understand what that was about. Why he done that. So he's at the Fukushima power control room. It was before the guy was the president was speaking, or the prime minister, rather. That was when it was saying that on the microphone in the shot before that. But he's at the power station. The other guy that was speaking at the start was the prime minister. So I don't really know what that was about. Anyway, I'm logging in and watching on the 20th of November 2023. Watching The Avengers, the episode called The Correct Way to Kill. It looks like it's probably set in the studio. But either way, looking at the clouds, now that's very unusual, isn't it? Got all the lines. That's almost like what you see nowadays, this modern day stuff. And this was made in the 60s, late 60s. Planes. Now why would they depict the sky like that? I believe that would be the studio that they're in. So that's the Avengers Originals, Mrs. Peel and John Steed episode, The Correct Way to Kill, and it's only about 2 or 3 minutes into the start of the episode, and it's regarding the sky. Very unusual. So I'm logging this in. It's the Tuesday, the 6th of October 2023. I find it really bizarre the way these gravestones could be broken like that. That's solid stone. The other one to the left looks as though it's actually been dug up or something. I mean, what on earth would cause that? It's not just these, there's others as well. Now, these stones have been around for years, decades, and it's solid, so it must have took a great deal of effort for it to snap the headstone in half like that and to dig up, you know, even the land around it's been swelled up. So I find it bizarre, very odd. I just find this mighty bizarre. This is at the Howff on Ward Road in Dundee. Now I'm just on my break. I've come in here before on my breaks over the years, and I just find it really strange that a lot of these old gravestones have suddenly become, you know, in a bad condition like that. It's cracked. I mean, this one here, jeez, I mean, it's blooming opened. What's going on? I mean, there's one further down there, and as you in, but I've got a coffee in one hand and the phone in another. But they're just in a bit of an unusual state. I mean, these gravestones have stood for hundreds of years apart. Well, that's the dates that are written on them. That's how long the dates go way back to the 18th century and everything. Some before that. So they've stood all this time, and suddenly, within the last couple of years maybe, they've kind of like this got into this condition. And try my best not to show any details on, you know, the names and not like try to do that, and just try to highlight just how unusual I find this, that the old gravestones that have stood for centuries are suddenly now beginning to collapse all at the same time. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. I mean, all this area is closed off. I just find it bizarre, you know. I mean, as I say, I've been on my break before, and the condition of them is just, I just find it odd why they're all sort of deteriorating at the same time, but in an alarming condition. I just find it quite unusual. It's a bit like that with the strange trees I've done before on my videos that I've got on my channel. But as I say, I'm just making this observation, and it just strikes me as really strange, the condition. There's a lot of stones that are down and in sort of like a damaged condition all of a sudden within the last couple of years or so. Anyway, logging it in, it's the 12th of February 2024 here at the Howff in the Dundee central area, city of Dundee. Just, I find it strange that the gravestones have kind of like deteriorated so quickly within the last couple, 2 or 3 years maybe. As I say, I used to come near on my break just prior to that on many occasions, and it didn't strike me as being that bad until now. It's just, find it odd. Okay, so just thought I'd log this in from my own records and share with you as well. Okay, cheers for watching, bye. Very unusual light in the sky. This is like the light I saw way back in 1998 at Whitfield. This is looking at Tayport, at the old Tayport airbase. Oh, look at that! You see that? That's like a flare or something.
Like a fire thing, yeah.
That's very unusual. That's very unusual. Kane's with us as well. He's witnessing this and filming this. Yeah, I do. What the heck is that? Could you film that as well, if you can? I'm going to try and get my other phone out, film it. There's a light to the left of it.
It's getting bright, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I'm going to try and... Is that something to do with the military base? Or what? No, I'm going to get my other phone out. Oh, and seeing more of these lights in the sky now. This is 25 to 5 in the afternoon, and there seems to be more of them. I just made a video about this. It's a bit earlier. This is the next day again. I was here to look for the Met Office, the Met Meteorological Station, and once again I see these lights in the sky. It's exactly more or less what I saw back in 1998. It's the 4th time in my life I've seen them. I saw them first time in 1998 at Whitfield, at the back of Whitfield. Second time is when I was driving the bus on the ferry just a few weeks back. The 3rd time is yesterday when I was here with Kane to see them. The 4th time is now. Sam, look over there, and there they are. There they were. So as I say, it's a Tayport. It's the Tay Estuary looking over. It's just that where the bus terminus is basically at Tayport. That's just where I saw them. I very, very faintly thought I could see the lines of smoke still in the sky there. Now, I don't think Barry Budden's there. I think Barry Budden, the other two training bases over there. I did report it to the police yesterday, in case it's a ship in distress or something. So I think I might just report it again. It's regarding this grape. Now, I bought a load of black grapes. I've eaten grapes for many years before. I've never saw a grape like this. It just seems quite unusual. It's like trying to find a four-leaf clover, you know, it's an unusual sort of. But I thought I'd just share that because, as I say, I've never saw this before, a grape looking like that. So I didn't eat it because I just didn't want to eat it. It looks odd. So I thought I'd log it in anyway. A couple of strange things in it. The lay-by just outside Tayport, between the Tay Bridge and Tayport. I'm looking at the Forfar transmitter mast. The lights aren't as flickering as much now as they were last fortnight when I was here. I just finished with tea. I was looking over there at the lights and that. Last fortnight the top one went off and then the light came back on. Then the middle one went off and then it came back on and then the middle one started to flicker. Now I'm looking at the chimneys at the incinerator Dundee at Valdovie, and then looking at the way the smoke is behaving coming out the chimneys. It's going at a very, very horizontal angle. It's not that windy, I can assure you that, it's not that windy. I mean, there's a gentle breeze, but surely it wouldn't make the smoke blow at literally 90 degrees to the chimney. That is just pretty bizarre. It's almost like there's pressure above it pushing the smoke down, which I find really unusual. So I'm logging that in anyway. It's the 17th of January 2024. Looking over towards Dundee City, across the River Tay, looking from the Fife end of the Tay Road Bridge, the lay-by just before the Tayport. And the microphone will exaggerate just how windy it is. It isn't that windy, I can assure you. But that, it'd be even bizarre anyway in its own right if it were windier there, because that's only just a few, I don't know, 2-3 miles as the crow flies. So why would the weather be so windy there and not over here? It's just very unusual anyway that it's blown at such a crazy angle. It's at 90 degrees, I mean, bloody hell. It's nuts. For me, I've never seen it behaving like that before, hence why I'm making this video. Anyway, I've logged it in, and also the transmitter, the lights on the Forfar transmitter. It doesn't appear to be flickering as much as it did last fortnight. It's actually appearing to be brighter than it was. I mean, I don't know why it would do that, but anyway, logging it in, 17th of January 2024. I'm going to be back in the car because it's bloody freezing here. Absolute mega coincidence, right off the scale coincidence. Just about to change the bulb. This side, near side, dipped headlight bulb went out yesterday, and just as I was making the video, literally 2 minutes, that one gone out as well. The dipped headlights, both dipped headlights gone out at the same time. That's unheard of. Never had that before. That went out yesterday. That just went out 2 minutes ago on the other phone for the little change of bulb on this car. So I'm logging it in. It's the 14th of February 2024. Absolute mega coincidence. I phoned my dad to tell him about the McDonald's fire up at the Elizabethan Park next to the Dobbies Garden Road. He'd already known because, believe it or not, a commenter about the washing machine video says that I should go up to have a look at the fire. So it's just such a mega coincidence that I'm actually sitting here in the Costa opposite the McDonald's having a coffee. And I was just phoning to tell my dad I was going to be back a bit later, and I mentioned I was here to have a look at the fire, and he already knew because he'd seen the comment on the video about the washing machine. So the chances of that and the mega coincidences there are right off the scale. It's just a mega massive coincidence, right off the scale. So I'm logging it in. It's the 21st of November 2023. It's regarding the fire at the McDonald's across from the Dobbies Garden World. This is very unusual. It's at the Old Mineral High School ground. It's at Docket Terrace. There's this tree here. And what's going on there? Isn't it very odd why it's like that? Just logging it in. 7th of March 2024. So I'm just at the Fife end of the Tay Road Bridge, and this is it just as you're leaving Newport. So you're coming out of Newport, you're heading in the east direction to go towards the Tay Port and also the Tay Road Bridge. Now I find this odd that these 40mph signs appear almost like black and white. It's quite unusual. I don't really see that very often. I just find that quite bizarre, so I'll get a close up. So when I'm driving along the road heading out this way and I see these signs, you'll probably see it now as this car comes out, it just illuminates like black and white, It doesn't even colour up at all. There's no colour in them, it just... And with this white lighting as well, perhaps. But it's like it's kind of like a black and white set. This whole view up ahead here just looks black and white for some reason. If you look in there, it's colour, but this whole scene here just looks black and white for some reason. Until you see the car red lights, the tail lights are red up there. You can barely see the green colour on the overgrowth there. That's just because I've adjusted the camera a bit, and also the car headlights illuminate the colour, but at this sort of angle it just looks so kind of grey. So I find that pretty odd anyway, and just thought I'd log that in. And just in contrast, this is looking at the opposite side of it. See, it's colourful the way that it should be, and you look over there, it looks a lot brighter, it looks like it's in a colourful environment, it looks like you're going into colour. But when you turn round, it looks like a dull, like just looking at a black and white TV set or something. It doesn't feel right. Anyway, logging that in. So it's the 13th of March 2024 here at Newport. Okay, so hope you've enjoyed that or found it interesting or whatever. If you say you want to, have you got any suggestions to any of the stuff that I find bizarre? If you've got any explanations for it, feel free to put them in the comments. I'd be interested to hear them, and whoever else reads the comments might be interested also in your comments. So feel free. So that's my experiences anyway. I find stuff bizarre. So okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now.